Today we're in Whitney Canyon State Park and we're gonna hike to Waterfalls in Santa Clarita, California. We will hike along the canyon just next to the creek. This is a 3-mile round trip hike, and I will briefly pull up the map to show you what to expect on the hike. Here is the map from the All Trails app. This will begin just off Highway 14 in Whitney Canyon State Park. And I have done this hike before, but this time is different. I have different tools in my arsenal for this trail, and there's more water this time. So right here is where the sign is at. You'll go past that gate entrance right there and park next to another green gate, which is where this is at, and this is the beginning of the hike. So the hike will begin along this path. Right there at the bottom is the creek. So the path is pretty straightforward at this point. It starts out pretty dry with brush, grass, and vegetation. And you can see we still have a bit of ways to go on this hike. And last year, this creek on the left side of me wasn't even there. So there was so much more rain this year that there was a huge difference in terms of how much water there is. And you can see the wildflowers blossoming. Yes. And right now, there's definitely more water than there was a year ago due to the drought that we were in. And of course, they still have that carving in this rock right here, almost cave-like, as we have seen before. So we're going to see how much more water there is this time than there was last year. So hopefully there's a good amount of water. We're going to find out and see what it looks like this year. Back onto the trail. And right here, there's some fallen trees over, so you just have to go underneath this a little bit. You can go around it on the other side, which will lead back onto the path. So you go underneath all this. Then you'll be opened up with an oak forest along the canyon. You see a right and you'll see a left. Always remember to go on the left side when you're doing this hike. That will take you to the waterfalls. All right, now it's pretty green. The grass is out. The oak trees are very vibrant with the green texture and the colors. So this is a good short hike, especially if you live in LA or Santa Clarita or Castaic Lake or anywhere around that area. So at this point in the hike, the trail is pretty straightforward, as you could see the path. But as we get into the hike, later on in the hike, it'll begin to take us off the path, and we're basically going to be going through the canyon at that point. But right now you can see that there's water on the left side. Last year there was no water right there. It was just completely dried up. But this year there's a lot more. So that's a good sign. That means that there could potentially be a lot more water coming down this waterfall than there was last year. And the ferns and leaves blossoming through this oak forest. So this is a very beautiful trail. It's easy to do, easy hike. It's definitely a good one for beginners. The only thing you'd have to worry about is maybe climbing up the waterfalls when you get to that point. But even then, you could at least get to the first big waterfall, and then there's two more after that, which the very last one you can't get to unless you have rock climbing gear or equipment. But right here, you're gonna see it right on the trail. Cross the creek. This is our first creek crossing. Merge back onto the path. And another creek crossing. And there's our first waterfall as we are making our way through this trail. So far it looks pretty good. The water is coming down pretty good. And then there's another one. So I believe this is a 6-tier waterfall, if I'm not mistaken. And right now the water is flowing really well, as you can see. So we're at this point. We're gonna go up here, up to this canyon up here. Gonna shoot up a little bit more. We got some aerial footage right here. So that's the first big waterfall right there, and that's the second one. And there's another one above that one. That second one, I'm going to be able to get to that one for sure. But the one above it, you would need rock climbing gear and ropes to get to it. Otherwise, it'd be pretty dangerous to get to. And you can see it from a distance, the very last one. All right, now we're going to get back down to the trail. Just bring the camera down. Of course, these are amazing shots right now I'm getting. And that's another difference in this trail. Last time I didn't have an aerial drone with me, but this time I do. So I can get better shots. So basically, I'm just going to make my way up this canyon right here. That's the first big waterfall. And to the left side, you can see there's like a path that you can climb up and over. It's going to be on that left side right there behind that green bush. And that's going to take us to the second big waterfall. So right now there's a lot more water that was coming down than last year. I came here back in February of 2022 and there was barely any water coming down. And we're in May and it's feeling pretty good. So I came up from up there and I'm climbing up here. So that's from the first big one. Now we're up to the second big one. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot up, get a shot of the last big one right there, which is right there. That one right there would probably require rock climbing gear and a rope to get to. But these are pretty amazing shots, and I definitely recommend doing this hike if you get the opportunity. It's a good, easy hike, and it does require some rock climbing. But I do hope you enjoyed this hike. Please like and subscribe.